Take 31. Take 32. Take 33. Welcome back, friends. Today's video I'm exceptionally excited about because of the fact this brings back a lot of childhood memories. So first off, I want to describe to you what this thing is. I believe it's around a 70s, maybe 80s reel mower. This was used on the golf course for the fairways on the sides, and it had 3 reels, 1 in the back and 2 on the sides. Now, like a lot of the stuff that's older fashioned, this thing was built like a tank. Now, my dad had got it from a golf course and we turned it into a go-kart, and we made it stupid fast. But now, I want to do something a little different. You see, this thing has a tube steel frame design, and it's made out of a lot of thick steel. So I want to make it where it can pull a lot. Of course, you know that because you saw the thumbnail. I feel like with it being built more like a tractor, it should be able to pull more like a tractor. So that's what we're going to go for in this video. Anyways, let's get to it. See if we can bring this thing back to life. There's something so satisfying about seeing this get pulled out and me being able to have it completed in the yard. A lot of nostalgia here. It did give me quite a rough time. And I got this suspicion that the front tires were in pretty bad shape, but we'll get back to that later. First thing to do is just cleaning up so we can actually see it. I wasn't sure what all I was going to use and not, but I figured I'd take and throw a bunch of WD-40 on everything that should move, so that way I have the availability of it later. Plus some of it will just come off easier. Alright, the first thing we need to do is eliminate some things, because we don't need this, any of this. As you can see, some of the video got overexposed. It was really a struggle dealing with the sunlight, but I hope you guys can overlook that and enjoy the video as much as I enjoyed making it for you. I did try to color correct it as much as I could. So now all the extra stuff's off it. Give you an idea of what's worth it to take and pick one of these up for free and scrap it out is, one, you get paid for the scrap when you take it in, but you got tires, you got springs, you got levers, you got lots of gears and chains, pulleys. I'll cut off what I want and get paid to take the rest in. As you can see, there's all the leftover stuff, and here's all the goodies I got out of it. Chains, sprockets, pulleys, tires, metal, bars, flat steel, gearboxes. And I got a plan for most of this stuff. It did unfortunately rain here, so I gotta get this stuff moved. Alright, so I think I got all the bits and bobs off that are extra and got it cleaned up pretty good. Now, that plate right there is an old TV stand. I'm going to use that to mount the engine. Speaking of the engine, I found this 10 horsepower off of Facebook Marketplace. They wanted $80 for it, and I offered him $60 and he took it. It is off a snowblower, so I'm going to have to put a filter system on the intake on it. Now, I want to take and get some new tires on here, and thankfully for me taking apart used snowblower, I have tires. And for the back, I found a set of UTV tires for $40 for 4 of them, and they still got some life left. I picked these ones out because my son left me some rims that are 14 inches from a UTV, so therefore it will work. I'll just have to figure out how I'm gonna put it on the hub there, since these are 5 lug and the other ones are 4. But alright, let's assemble some things. As you can see, the rims are completely rotted out, so are the tubes. I have a solution. It's not the greatest solution, but it'll work for now. In the meantime, I decided to work on the back rims for a little bit. I went with some metal valve stems. That way they won't get tore out as easy. And then the hardest part is using one of these home changers that's not bolted down. I really should just put a plate on my trailer or something. But with a good helping hand, we got it. Real mechanics don't need ether to fill tires. Just kidding. Alright, so the other rims are rotted out, so I'm going to have to go with these. Now, the reason why I didn't want to go with these originally is because of the fact these aren't designed with a bearing in them at all. So this is going to end up metal on metal. So what I'm probably going to end up doing is having to grease these up a lot. Like probably every several uses until I figure something else out. The nice part is, with how slow this thing's going to go, I don't think it's really going to be that big of an issue though. And I probably at some point will take and install some grease certs on there so that way I could just grease it. Or find different rims. But for now, I'm just cutting them here, working these out. And we'll get them on. Sometimes I don't do things the most proper way, but that's because I also believe that sometimes it's just about what you have on hand and what you can do with what you got. I think this is one of those scenarios. Right now, this is what I got. If I find something better tomorrow, I'll change it then. It's been about a year since I recorded this, and they're actually holding up really well, unlike a different part of the build, but we'll get back to that. So now for these to fit on there, I don't have a way of making adapters, nor do I have the funds to be able to pay somebody else to make me some adapters. And I was holding it up there and I started realizing that I might be able to kind of get it to work in a little unconventional manner. So you vote down below how long you think this unconventional manner lasted. And I'll let you know. So they line up really nicely like that. It might end up a little bit off, but keep in mind this thing's doing like a mile or two an hour. The only thing I'm worried about is it's going to spin. So I'm thinking I can run these through, put washers on there. I got some really thick washers, and then tighten it down. In the back of my mind, I was thinking I could also weld those washers to the rim if I really had to keep it from spinning. But I thought we'll try this and see how long it goes before I go that janky with it. So yeah, I'm just going to tighten these down and let them friction fit. I'll even give you a couple options. You can comment down below that you think they fell apart right away, that they stayed on there for a little while, then they fell off, or that they're still on there today. Alright, there's a few more things for me to do, but I'm going to try to speed this up for you guys. So I needed to get rid of this chain system so I can add a belt drive system and then get the motor mounted. Remember, a lot of this was done when I was a kid and I did things even more janky then. If you see a video where they get stuff like this off easy, it's because they didn't want to show you the 3.5, 4 hours to get it off. Oh, quit your complaining. It was only a couple hours. I'm going to take a very important second out to share with you guys on how much it means to me, on how you guys have been commenting, encouraging me along, and appreciating the videos. I wanted to help inspire people to either create or entertain people, and it seems like it's working. So thank you very much for that. All right, let's get back to it. Alright, so I think you guys can get where I'm going with this. I'm going to use those slots so that way I can adjust the motor forward or backwards if needed, and then I'm going to be welding the plate on the front and the back for support. My welding has improved since my practice video, however I need to work on straight cuts with the plasma cutter. At first I just tack this on to make sure that way it's going to work. But I'll come back and do a finished bead later.
I mean, I'm still no welder.
You know, as I'm editing this, I'm trying to remember if I actually did come back and finish welding that up. So keep that in mind when you watch the rest of the video. So after securing the motor down, the idea I'm going with here is the belt's going to be loose, and then I'm going to tighten it up with another pulley and a lever. And that's going to make it go forward, as it does have gears in the back to change it from forward to reverse.
So I need a lever from that snowblower.
Alright, so I got a couple more pieces off of the snowblower. This was pinned through here, but I'm going to be moving it over and sticking a pin on the outside so it can move freely instead of locking with this. And then I'm going to attach it to there, and that's going to do the tightening. Better yet, let's weld it together and show you.
So the lever I attached on top connects via this rod down to this pulley down here. And if you can see, the belt's too loose, but I can pull it tight. And that's going to engage it forward. As soon as I let go, its default is loose, where it will just slip. I did do a little work to it so that way I'd effectively have cruise control. Now I still need brakes and an air filter on here, but I thought I would give it a test and show you guys something before we end part one. Now at first glance it might seem impractical to do this, but actually this helps me get the trailer in places that I can't get it with my truck. Also, this tractor is going to have several other uses too.
Alright, so that was a little bit of a test run. Now, although it doesn't look like much, that trailer does weigh 3,500 pounds, or 1.75 tons. So that already is a lot for a lawnmower. However, I'm not going to disappoint. First, we got to fix a few more issues. There's some jankiness from when I was a kid. We're going to make it a little less janky, probably still keep it janky, but it'll be better. And yeah, I'm going to stick a Volkswagen Beetle on that trailer. So when it comes to a series like this, I'm going to try to take and pump the next video out a little faster, so you should be able to expect part 2. All right, till then, keep creating.